The following program may contain subject matter and language suitable for mature audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
And welcome back to another edition of The Meltdown. My name is Norm.
My name is Jeff.
And today we are talking about habits. We all have them, good habits, bad habits, but we're not going to dwell on that. We're going to look at some interesting facts and some stupidness about habits, and it's going to be really interesting. Plus, we've got Lou Saracino here with another Meltdown Minute with Lou, and that should be funny, I'm sure. Well,
it always is.
It better be. That's all I'm going to say. So, yes. Lou, if you're standing by, make sure it's damn funny. Okay, so, Jeff, why don't you take us to our very first segment?
All right, it's now time for some Meltdown Fun Facts.
All right, so here we've got 5 little-known facts about habits that will change the way you look at them forever. You ready for this, Jeff?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Here is fact number 1. Half of the time you are awake is spent with automatic behaviors. A study from Duke University in 2006 found that up to 45% of all our daily behaviors are automatic. You spend 1 out of every 2 minutes doing something that you're not even aware of.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it totally does. Yeah. All right, here's number 2. Habits are a way for your brain to save energy. Your brain is the most efficient processor on the planet. Your brain makes up only 2% of your total mass, but it consumes 25% of all the oxygen you inhale. That's why it's constantly looking for new ways to save energy. Automatic behaviors in the form of habits is one of the best ways to do so. Your brain divides a complex pattern into small chunks. Each chunk is then automated, requiring less and less brain activity the more often it is repeated. Researchers recreated this behavior with rats running through mazes. After a clicking noise which opened the door into a maze, the rats had to find their way through 2 sections for a piece of chocolate. Once they knew, as soon as the door clicks, I can just run straight, turn left, and get some chocolate, their brain put their bodies on an automated sequence, minimizing the energy required to take action or process information along the way. And that's also easy to understand. I mean, when you're learning a new job, for example, right? There's 4 stages of learning something. There is unconsciously incompetent, which means you don't know what you don't know. Then consciously incompetent. Now you do know what, you're learning what you didn't know. Then there's consciously competent, which means that you're aware that you're doing things correctly. And then there's unconsciously competent, which means you don't even think about it. It's kind of like a skier going down. Someone who's skied their whole life, so they don't even think about what they're doing. Their body's just automatically, taking the right stance and everything. And it's
as
really
Yogi Berra said, nobody can hit and think at the same time.
That's probably true.
And actually, having played baseball, not that well, but well enough, it's true. I mean, you can think about the mechanics of hitting and how you stride and where you keep your hands. But once you're in a game, you really can't think about that. You just kind of have to do it.
It's all automatic.
It becomes
automatic.
Yes, exactly.
Cool. Here's another fact. Habits are even tougher to break than you thought. Way tougher. The reason habits are so tough to break lies in the structure of your brain. Evolutionary speaking, the farther outside you go, the newer the parts of the brain. Your prefrontal cortex, where all complex thinking is done, is right behind your forehead. This is where the basal ganglia is, the part of the brain where habits are formed. This little lump of tissue the size of a golf ball has been around for a few thousand years. It already made sure the caveman ancestor of your great-grandfather kept breathing, swallowing, and running away from a saber-toothed tiger. If that's the kind of stuff that's anchored in your basal ganglia, then you can imagine it would be fairly hard to get it out of there again. As researchers work with a man named Eugene Pauly, 71 years old, suffering from severe memory loss after illness showed, habits rooted in the basal ganglia are so strong they can survive severe brain damage. So what do you think of that?
Yes, your brain is in constant mode of protecting you and itself. And
yes.
That's nice to hear. That, of course, the brain is part of you, and so it's nice to hear that you've got that sort of recurring sort of... I don't know, it's comforting to hear that. Let me put it that way.
Well, yeah, that we're born with, and we call those things instincts now.
Yes, instincts,
right?
Yes, exactly.
Here is our last fact today. One keystone habit can change everything. Once we go further down the habit hole, we usually find dozens of things we want to change. Quit biting nails, stop drinking, don't eat so much, start running and swimming. Oh yeah, and let me write that book. This is neither efficient nor even necessary. It's enough for you to change one habit. It just has to be the right one. Author Charles Duhigg describes these as keystone habits which cause a positive ripple effect and automatically infer changes in other areas. When Paul O'Neill became CEO of Alcoa, a huge aluminum manufacturer, in 1987, he started his first speech with the words, "I want to talk to you about worker safety." This inevitably led to investors calling their clients and telling them that the board put a crazy hippie in charge and he's going to kill the company. Paul would be the one to laugh last. When he retired in 2000, the company's net income had quintupled, a 5 times on profits, just from making sure no one staples their foot to the ground. As it turns out, optimizing safety at work was the keystone habit that streamlined the entire production process. O'Neill's legacy still lives on today. In 2010, over 80% of Alcoa's locations worldwide did not lose one single employee day due to injuries. You don't have to start big, but you have to start with the right habit. That's pretty fascinating. Mm-hmm. And that does make sense, because, I mean, if you want to change a whole bunch of things in your life, I think you have to kind of go to the core of what's causing everything, and then maybe try to hit something that's close to the core.
The X factor, I believe they call that, if I'm not mistaken. What is the chief cause of habit A or habit B or habit C? Why are you doing this? And that's a good way of approaching it.
Cool. Well, as is habit on our show, now that we've finished with our fun facts, it's time for...
Meltdown Stupidness.
No.
It's time for a Meltdown Minute with Lou.
Hello. Today we're talking about habits. There are good habits, there are bad habits, right? Good habits are the habits that keep you alive, right? The healthy behavior, the good eating, all that kind of stuff. There are habits that kept us alive when we were cave people, so many moons ago, right? Because if you went into like a body of water, like a lake or something, and then the saber-toothed tiger killed your buddy, then that's a habit that I'm not going to do again, is my point. And as I said, there are bad habits. I'm just as guilty as anybody else. I will easily spend 8 hours eating fiddle-faddle and pouring Pop Rocks into Jolt Cola to get my heart up to hummingbird speed. That's what I like, right? But I don't know if they're actually bad habits or if it's a branding problem. Hear me out. Hear me out, I said. I'll give you an example. Meth. I think meth has a branding problem. I don't think it's a bad habit, because you're always hearing, hey, meth is bad and it ruins lives and drugs are bad and blah, blah, blah. Here's my point. If you want to lose like 80 to 130 pounds in 3 days and you're not overly attached to your teeth, meth. Don't do meth, okay? This should point out that this is a joke. Clearly, we don't want to get letters. I don't want Norm to get a letter that's like, now I'm doing meth and my life's ruined, because I will make fun of that guy for sure.
Thank you, Lou. And now for some Meltdown Stupidness.
All right, so for our Meltdown Stupidness today, here are 26 silly habits you can't seem to walk away from. And you can tell me if you do any of these, all right?
Okay.
Here's this is a list of things compiled by various people, and I got this off this one website. So people were asked to write in and say, what silly habit do you have that you have and you can't stop doing? Okay. And here are 26 of them. Number 1, touching your face while working on the computer. Or if it's not touching your face, it's doing something else, maybe tapping your fingers or something, okay? Here's another one. Putting your pinky out no matter what you drink. Are you, do you do that, Jeff?
No, I don't even notice what I do with my pinky, but I don't think I don't drink my tea. I don't really drink tea, but I don't drink my coffee like this. No,
I would do that once in a while just to make people laugh, and then I found out I was doing it.
If I'm signaling for someone, hey, come over here, I might do that.
Here's another one: cutting the crust off bread slices. Now, is that a habit or is that more of a preference?
I think it's more of a preference because sometimes I don't eat the crust either, but I don't cut it off. So I think that's more of a preference than a habit.
Okay. Here's one: sampling everything a dessert buffet has to offer. And now that maybe you could just file that under gluttony, but a dessert buffet, like any buffet, it gives you the option to just I like this, but I don't like that. I like this, but it doesn't mean you have to load it on, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Here we go: twirling your hair while stuck on a task. Obviously, I don't do that, but Jeff, you have enough hair, you could probably twirl it.
Yeah, I know someone in particular that twirls their hair, but I don't think it's because of task, but it's kind of personal. So let's leave it at that.
What?
It's personal in a good way.
Oh, she's coming on to you. Come on, Jeff. Jeez. Leave that shit at home, okay? This is a show here.
I cut it off and kept it clean.
Okay, here's another one. A silly habit that you can't seem to walk away from: stirring your coffee after every sip. Do you know people who do that? I don't do that. I don't know anyone who does that.
I put my my almond milk in my coffee and I just leave it as it is. I don't even stir it initially. You don't even stir it then. I just pour it and shaken, not stirred.
Okay, Bond. Here's one: opening browser tabs with the intention to look at them and then forgetting about them until it starts affecting your computer performance. I actually know people who have these tabs open all over the place. And in fact, I remember in our first season we did, on social media, we talked about just having all these tabs open and not being able to focus on one thing. You're always jumping from tab to tab.
Yeah.
But this is the reverse. This is opening them and then not looking at them. Okay, here's another one: having a bedtime drink like chocolate milk and then needing a peanut butter and jelly sandwich to go along with it. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of cute.
Here's another one. Another silly habit people can't seem to walk away from is collecting plastic bags.
I have this habit, and this is, I don't know if it's a habit, but I will often, if I see somebody throw like a plastic water bottle in the garbage, which people shouldn't do,
right?
I'll actually often take the plastic water bottle out of the garbage and take it home and put it in my recycling.
Well, that's not only a good habit, Jeff, but that is pro for the environment.
Yeah.
So
people see me going through the garbage, but if people are going to throw away plastic water bottles that are so easy to recycle,
then you're going diver dumpster. Dumpster diving.
I don't dive right into the dumpster to get plastic, but I will reach in and
Do you wear like a garbage bag as a cape and call yourself Garbage Man? You got a big G on your sweater.
I'm a superhero.
I saw that, mister. I'll retrieve that bottle for you.
Yes, I'm going to do a whole comic book series about it and everything.
Actually, you know what? That'd be very educational if you did that for kids.
Yeah.
All right, back to work. Here's another silly habit people can't seem to walk away from: burying yourself under the covers, even if it's hot as hell. There's just people that need to be wrapped, swaddled. It's almost like I miss my womb, right?
Well, yeah, security blankets, which adults even have, maybe in a more subtle way. Like the security of being wrapped up in your blankets when you're in bed, so that makes sense, even if it's 100 degrees Fahrenheit outside.
Here's one I'm guilty of: having to arrange the sweetener packets in the holder at restaurants. I don't like things out of order, and it's weird. Like I actually sit there, and if I notice there's a Splenda, then something else, and I'll actually move them.
I have to have that sort of order as well.
Yeah.
One habit that I know many people have, I definitely have to have my bills in my wallet.
From small to large?
Well, from small to large, certainly.
Yeah.
And I have to have Queen Elizabeth facing out,
exactly.
or Sir Wilfrid Laurier, usually more like Laurier.
I got you and I are a little bit too much alike in some ways.
So everything has to be ordered. I can't have that stuff folded over. So bills, for example, I can't have those folds. Or bookmarks, or people that fold
the ends. Yeah, I don't like that.
Drives me crazy for a lot of reasons. So bookmark people. Bookmarks exist. Please use bookmarks.
Yeah, and keep order.
Put those sugar packets in order.
Okay, here's another one: hearing something that reminds you of a song and then having to sing the whole thing. Do you do that?
Oh yes, I do. I often. I can't even think of one. There's one recently, and I couldn't stop singing it. But it was a song I enjoyed, so I didn't mind singing it.
Yeah. But do other people mind? That's the question.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I work with somebody who sings out loud all the time, and she has a very beautiful voice.
That's nice.
Yeah, she sings out loud all the time. It's quite pleasant, and I tend not to sing out loud at work, but I do. I often I hear a song, and then I've just got to belt it out for like an hour.
Cool. Here's another one. Having worked in restaurants and stacking plates for servers when you dine out. I don't know if that's really a silly habit. Maybe that's actually a good thing. Maybe that helps the servers. I don't know if they like their plates stacked. Here's another silly habit people can't seem to walk away from: having to reread emails that you've sent other people.
I have to do that.
Yeah, no, in a business sense, you have to do that. But do you go back and then maybe even after a couple of days and say, let me just go through my sent and see what I sent people?
It depends on the importance of the email, or it depends on whether or not I feel like, did I say this by mistake? Did I type this word by mistake? Did I actually say something that I unintentionally didn't mean to say?
Here's another silly habit people can't seem to walk away from: constantly checking your pockets to see if your wallet, phone, or keys have magically disappeared. I do that. I will do that if I've got change. Like I'll leave the house, say, okay, I've got my, because I have like a little wallet for my cards and stuff, but in my front pocket I always keep my bills with a money clip and my change container, which some people call a purse, but it's not a purse.
It's a carry-all.
Yeah,
and steal from a Seinfeld episode.
And I have my phone and I have my keys, so I'll have everything, double check, make sure I got everything, and then I'll get in the car, drive somewhere, get out of the car, make sure I have everything. It's true. It's like it's not going to just vanish for whatever reason, but I guess it's just one of those things.
I double check stuff. Going on auditions in Montreal back in the day when you had to bring a headshot and resume.
Right.
I could not leave the house without checking that I had my headshot and resume about 5 times.
Yeah.
It was just, I don't know why. Like I would put it in an envelope in the car, drive out, pull over to the side of the road, check that it was there, drive about 2 blocks. No, you know what? Did I check properly? Maybe I only saw my headshot and not the actual resume. Honestly, that's something I'd have to check 2 or 3 times before I even got like 1 kilometer away.
What about your sides too? Like
I've got to check to see that
headshot
I have my
sides.
Okay, that's there.
Okay, here's another one: falling asleep in various uncomfortable positions. Instead of just getting up and going to bed when you're tired, you just stay where you are and just crank. And that happens. You can wake up and you've got this, my neck, it's killing me, and all that stuff. Here's another one: having to pop bubble wrap whenever you see it.
Yeah.
Now, is that a habit or is that just damn fun? Every time you see bubble wrap, you want to make that popping sound. Here's something for all of you at home. A neat trick to play, okay? On the next time you go to work or you're with your spouse or whatever, take a thin strip of bubble wrap and put it behind your head and walk into the room and go, oh, geez, my neck is stiff. And then tilt your head as you pop the thing. Let me tell you, it gets them every time. The faces you'll see, the terror on people's faces is worth it. Trust me. Here's one: looking at spoilers and then resenting it. You're watching your favorite show and you've got 1 episode to go. The big climax is coming and you just can't wait because you're one of those people. You look at the spoilers, you see the ending, and then you go, why did I do that?
Yeah, I'm pretty good about, if I see spoiler alert or I feel like a spoiler is coming, I will look away. I'm pretty good about not like, I have to read it. No, there's no way.
Okay, here's another one: adding favorites to your streaming watch list, like Netflix, and knowing that you'll never watch them. Just adding those titles, like, build up my list, and knowing that I'm probably not going to watch that.
No, I'm not like that. I'm the kind of person that if I want to...
You commit.
Yeah, I commit. Yeah, because as people know, I'm all or nothing.
Okay. Here's another one: tapping your fingers on a solid surface when you get too comfortable. That was actually somebody's habit, so they would just... making up little tunes about your moods when you can't sing well. We sort of covered that, but not really. Here's... do you know what a fidget spinner is?
No.
It's like this round thing with 3 other round things, and it's weighted, and you can just put it in 2 fingers and spit.
Oh, okay.
It's one of those things to keep you busy in your hands. So someone's habit was buying numerous fidget spinners when only, when one will do.
Yeah.
You don't need more than one, but just to make sure they're all in. One in each room. If you fidget a lot. Here's another one, twirling your keys when you walk towards your car.
Sometimes.
Yeah, you twirl?
Yeah. I'll do the old. I have this habit of doing this. Certainly. I don't do it a lot.
That's twirling.
But I do it.
That is definitely twirling.
Yeah, I definitely do it sometimes.
You are guilty, Jeff.
I know.
Twirling.
I admit it.
You're a twirler. Jeff is an admitted twirler.
And I also twirl my hair as well. So
I asked you if you did that before, and you said...
Well, I said somebody else does it, I know, more often than I do it, but I do.
But you do it. Okay. So now the truth comes out.
Yeah.
So the further we get into this, the more Jeff is going to reveal about himself. Yeah. It's going to get scary. Okay, here's one. Not being able to sit down during a long phone call and having to pace.
Yeah.
Is that a habit, or is that just maybe you can't sit in one place too long? You like to move around and...
Well, yeah, I'm a restless person. I also can't speak on the phone for very long. It's just, and these days, I just can't. It doesn't, even if I'm enjoying the phone conversation, there's something about the phone. I can't. It's like, I'd rather meet somebody for a coffee or a beer and talk to them that way. Of course, sometimes it's long distance and you have no other choice, but. Yeah, these days with FaceTime, you can sit in front of a computer. I don't know. I tend to pace because I'm restless.
Okay. When you first said I can't talk too long on the phone, my first thought was you. You can't talk too long?
But, just on the phone.
Just on the phone,
yeah,
right.
We'll meet for that coffee or that beer, and then I'll talk for too long.
Okay, here's another silly habit people can't walk away from. Popping pimples wherever you are.
Oh.
Yeah. Just be mindful of that. Like if someone's having... toast or something next to you. Don't do that.
Yeah,
that's
walk
gross.
In the next room.
And here's one that we discussed in our first season, and I do believe this is a really bad habit. Checking your phone every 5 minutes, even if you know there are no notifications.
Well, of course, we've talked about this many times. This is kind of how the show began, the meltdown began. As long as I and I've said this before, as long as my phone is in another room, I don't look at it over.
You're not even aware.
But I have to admit, if it's in the same room, I have this habit of checking every 30 seconds. But again, I am able to put it in another room.
Good.
And not think about it.
Good for you. Yes, good for you. Good habit to have. Next week, we are going to be talking about rules and regulations. Now, not laws specifically, although we will probably touch on some, because we did a show on laws, international laws, and we might touch on one or two. But rules and regulations, some rules that, these really exist? Yeah, those type of rules. And then we're going to take a look at something funny for our stupidness. So please join us next week. Until then, we will see you. Bye-bye.
Bye.